What are some of the ones that we experience? It's not possible. What are some of the ones that we experience? It's possible. It's possible. What are some of the ones that we experience? Over the last 7 days, what are some of the ones you saw? Network. It's possible. What are some of the ones that we experience? Hello, everyone. Very good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Am I visible and audible to everyone here? Yes, in the chat box if I am. All right. Thank you very much. So, who is here? How many of you would like to have lifelong health? I can see only a few hands coming up. Okay, I can see a lot more right now. Brilliant. How many of you want to be a lot more happier in the process as well? Super. Good to hear that. Wonderful. Thank you very much. So, how are you guys doing? How is Thursday treating you? How is Thursday treating you? Okay. How many of you feel that even after a long day of work, the evening feels energetic? How many of you are experiencing that? Even after a long day of feeling energetic in the evening? Okay, good to see that. Now, when we show up, it already means that we are energetic, isn't it? Give me a thumbs up if that is true. If you guys are showing up today here, which means that you're already energetic. So can we add on to that by turning on our webcams, please? Awesome. Out of about 182 people, I can see that almost 70 of you have turned on your cameras. Others, please do so as well. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good, good, good. So, how many of you are able to finish the talk score yesterday? How many of you are able to do that? The talks quiz, how many of you are able to finish that? Superb. Superb. Talks done. Okay. How many of you felt that it was insightful? How many of you felt that it was insightful? Type I in the chat box if it was insightful. No test done. It gave you a blueprint of what is your health right now. How many of you felt that? That it gave you a blueprint of what your health is right now. All right. And how many of you really enjoyed knowing what is the step-by-step process for each element? Me in the chat box, if you felt that step-by-step you were able to find out what that was. Now, if you're able to add, okay, if you're able to add a little bit more of science and understanding to this, how would that feel to you? And would you like to know whether this talk score comes down or not? Would you like to know? How many of you would like to know whether this comes down or not? Now, I've found out what is my talk score. Now, would you like to know whether this can come down or not? Is it okay? Do I have your permission to show you a few cases where it has come down? Would you like to see that? Yes, in the chat box if you'd like to see that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good. So I'll just bring in a few. Okay, now take a look at this. Okay, some of you are having high talk score. I'll come to it. Don't worry. Okay, I'm coming to it. Let's take a look at this. All right. So, how many of you here have your talk scores above 100? Above 100. Okay. How many of you above 80? I'll come back to this once again today because we are going to discuss a lot about the talk score today. Okay. Above 80. Anybody who's above 80? More than 80. Good, good, good. Good. Not that it is good, but good that you know it at least. Okay. So, check this out here. Can you see my screen? Can you see this? Can you read Mini Narayanan here? Can all of you read Mini Narayanan here? Yes. What was her talk score when she started? 126. Can you see that? It came down to 97 last week and to 76 this week. How does this sound to you? How does that sound to you? Good, positive, right? All right. Brilliant, impressive. I would totally agree to that. Inspiration. All they did was take action. All they did was take what? They took action. Okay. Would like to see one more? Would like to see one more who came down? Yes. Brilliant. Thank you very much. What does this sound like? What is this score now here? What is this score? On top here. 110 to 70. Okay. 110, it came down to 70. 115, it came down to 47. Is it more than 50% drop? Yes, in the chat box. If it is more than a 50% drop. No bloating, energetic, very light, mindful eating. Making the day planner gives a lot of direction. So I'll tell you more about that later. But then this is how, if you stay with a process, it can come down. How many of you are able to see that this can happen? And this is, this is all participants who are saying this on a chat after they analyze that they're able to see a change. Okay. Thank you very much. So what is today called? What is today called, by the way? What day is it today? It is called the GQ day. Okay, it is called the GQ day. It's called the GQ day. And it is called GQ day for a reason. Okay, it is called GQ day for a very good reason. Now tell me one more thing. How many of you have been enjoying the meditation that we do in the morning? How many of you have been enjoying the process of meditation? Me in the chat box if you've been enjoying the process of meditation. Good, very good. Continue that. Yeah, continue that. Very good. Now let's get right into the session. When we started the session yesterday, or when we were discussing yesterday, there were about 250 people. Now today, look at how many people are there. 200 and almost 220. Right? Which means that each and every one of you are action takers. And I would like to congratulate you for this, for showing up. Right? Showing up is the first step that you take towards greatness, and congratulations to that. So let's go right into the session. So today we're going to do a quick recap of whatever we learned over the last few days. And then we're going to learn how we are being programmed. How we are being programmed for the things that we don't need. Then we'll do a task on Prakriti. I'll introduce you to a task on Prakriti and we'll do the life points breath work. This is what we're going to do. So first is the earth element. When are we going to discuss the earth element? On which day are we going to discuss the earth element? On day 4. Brilliant. Now, water element. What do we take every day? What do we take every day? The detox tea. Brilliant. We take the detox tea every single day. Good. How much do we take detox tea? What is the amount that we take? Amount of detox tea that we take? 1 liter. From what time to what time? From what time to what time? 6 to 6. Brilliant. Very good. Very good. Excellent. So now you know. How many of you feeling that this revision that we do is really helping you? It's really helping you? Yes, brilliant. Let's go further. Next is fire. There are two things that we do in fire. First one is two things that we do in fire. First one is Triphala. How many pinches? 1, 2, and 3. 3 pinches. Mix it well. Three pinches. Good. Triphala is for everyone. I'll tell you more about that today. Yep. Now, next. What is the other thing that we do in the fire? We do the scrub. We do the scrub. And what do we use? What are the materials that we can use? One is Inja, or you can use Triphala itself. You can use vetiver, or you can use the body scrub powder. All these are choices that you have. Good. You can use coconut scrub, but it is a very inert scrub. There is no medicinal property to it as such. Okay, it's a very inert scrub. Now, next. What are the two things that we do in air? Something that we learned yesterday. What was that? One thing we learned yesterday, second thing we'll do it today. What is the first thing that we learned? Conscious breathing. Brilliant. Conscious breathing is the first one, or mindful breathing. Both are same. Okay, conscious breathing or mindful breathing, both are same. Next is the life points breath work, which we'll discuss today. What about the space? What are the two things that we would do in space? Two things that we would do in space. Meditation and foot massage. Exactly. Meditation and foot massage. Okay. Foot massage can be done with Shatadhauta Grita. Can be done with Shatadhauta Grita, or it can also be done with ghee or butter. Butter is best. How many of you had problems sleeping? How many of you had problems sleeping before yesterday? And it helped you. And the foot massage actually gave you a good sleep. How many of you were able to sleep peacefully yesterday? Type sleep peacefully in the chat box if you are able to sleep peacefully yesterday. Type sleep peacefully in the chat box if you were able to sleep peacefully yesterday. Very good. Excellent. And for how many of you it happened after you did the foot massage yesterday? One of the most important things when it comes to maintaining health is the quality of your sleep. Okay, is the quality of your sleep, and it can improve drastically with the help of the foot massage. Okay, thank you very much for letting me know. Now, those are the two things that we do in the space element. Very good. Now, tomorrow is a live only session. Type live in the chat box if you know now that tomorrow is going to be a live only session. Now, it is a live only session for two reasons. It's a live only session for two major reasons. One is that there is going to be a discussion on Prakriti, which is the cornerstone of this entire process. The discussion on Prakriti is the cornerstone. Type U in the chat box if you have understood that the discussion on Prakriti is the cornerstone of this entire program, because your entire life is around this concept called Prakriti. Your entire life is around this concept called Prakriti. So we are going to discuss Prakriti in detail. One. Okay. Second reason I'll tell you during the day today. Okay. Later in the day today, I'll tell you what is the second reason why you should attend. Very good. Now, let me know what is the level of toxicity. Is it optimal, mild, moderate, or severe? For you, is it optimal, mild, moderate, or severe? I seriously didn't mean how toxic you are, okay, as a person, but I was really trying to understand what is the level of toxicity in your body. Okay, good, mild, moderate, severe. Let me know in the chat box. Is it mild? Is it moderate? Or is it severe? What is it like? Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of this thing here. Can we all shake ourselves up? I can see a lot of serious people here. Like you've come in for I'm giving you a very serious lecture on Indian philosophy, which is rooted in how the mind works. And I'm going into the details of which you're not able to understand. And you're like, what are you saying? That is the kind of faces that I see here. I want all of you to smile, please. Can we all smile? At least make an effort to smile. Okay. I can do this. This is the best that I can do. Would you like to try? All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good. Thank you for playing along. So, by the way, this is how I make my daughter laugh whenever she's like, at times, right? And this is how she would laugh. Good. Thank you very much. Now, are we what we eat or are we what we digest? According to you, I want your take on it. Okay. I want your take on it. Are we what we eat? Don't give me both. I'll tell you why. Somebody just gave me both. Because first, this is not Indian politics where you can, be a part of two parties at the same time and play both sides. No. Okay. Have an opinion. Is it what we eat or are we what we digest? Okay. Eat, digest, eat. Okay. Hold on. Now I can see a lot of eat. I can see a lot of digest. Let us say that you have a very nutritious plate of meal in front of you. And some part of it doesn't suit your body type, which means your body type cannot digest it. Your body is not capable of digesting it. Would it be of any use what you eat? Yes or no? There are parts to the diet, there are parts to the food that does not gel with your body type. You cannot digest it. Is it of any use? Yes or no? No, right? No. Now tell me, we are what we eat or are we what we digest? Irrespective of what we eat, if we cannot digest it, is it of any use having that? No, right? Now tell me, the things that we have been taught in school, is it completely right or is it not completely right? That you should have a balanced meal. You should have everything at the same time. You should take everything. You should not skip one. It's partially right. Lavanya. Perfectly said. Now, why I brought this topic up right now is because we have been taught by a totally different industry where all the things that we have learned is to serve the purpose of many different industries. How many of you are starting to feel that we have been taught in a certain way so that we are the perfect consumers for industries that are waiting to feed us junk? Even the whole idea of school, sending children to school, making them disciplined, was to fuel the rising need for employees, except a few schools, not all. There's the same thing with our health also. So a few days ago, I saw, what is it called? I saw not an ad exactly. I saw a post on Instagram, which felt really true to me. That is what I'm not going to name the company. There's a health drink which are given to children. एक साइड में लिखा है strong बनने की तैयारी. That means it is a preparation to become strong. On the other side, his comment, diabetes और जुड़े बीमारियों की तैयारी. On one side, it is saying that it is a preparation to become strong. On the second side, this person's comment is that this is a preparation to become diabetic or associated diseases along with it. This is exactly what is happening now. And the whole industry is making us believe that we are what we eat. But in fact, we are what we digest. That's a fact. Now, a quick run through the digestive system. A quick run through the digestive system. The digestive system starts here with your mouth. The food travels from the mouth into this long tube, which is called the, anybody, can you name this? What is it? What is this called? This long tube here, which is called food pipe or the esophagus. Good one. Esophagus. From here, it goes into this pouch, which is called the stomach, where there is mechanical mixing of food. Okay, mechanical mixing of food. From here, it goes into the small intestine. From here, it goes into the large intestine, and then you poop. Whatever is remaining of the food is pooped out. This is what happens in our digestive system. Clear, everyone? Everyone clear on this? This is something that we have all learned, isn't it? We've all learned this. We've all learned this. Now, the magic of the entire digestive system or the gut is here in the small intestine. The small intestine, contains these small hair-like, microscopic hair-like structures, which is called, any names here? Villi. Exactly. These are called the villi. And these, Nikhil, I can totally get your concern that there are a lot of other processes that happens in between, but I'm giving you the mota of it. I'm not going to a lot of details. Is that okay, Nikhil? Would it be okay if I do that? Thank you. Now, these small structures are called villi, and what they do is they increase the surface area of the small intestine. Type SA in the chat box if you've understood that the villi is responsible for increasing the surface area so that the small intestine can absorb more nutrition from the food that you eat. And would I be right if I say that when the small intestine is able to absorb more nutrients is when you actually are able to get more nutrients, and only then you'll be able to feel more energetic, only then you'll be able to be more healthy, and only then you'll be able to function even more efficiently. Yes or yes? Yes. So this is why the small intestine is so very important in the entire digestive system. Now, the large intestine contains a lot of friendly bacteria. That is what it is there. But there is a very important concept when it comes to the bacteria. We have almost 300 to 500 species of bacteria in your gut. And these bacteria have got a very important role to play, including the manufacture of certain compounds, helping to break down your food, and also many other things, even maintaining your immunity. The bacteria are involved in it. Now, the bacteria are diverse in nature, and the bacteria has got a very important role to play, which I'll explain in the upcoming slides. They have a very crucial role to play, which can even determine what kind of character you have. Now, if there is strong digestion, if your digestion is really strong, you'll be able to absorb nutrients from food. You'll be able to fuel all your activities. You'll build and repair your body. You will remove all the toxins, whichever is not required inside you, and you'll be able to energize your brain. You'll be able to energize your brain. These are all the things that a strong digestion can do. But if you have a weak digestion, or if the absorption is not happening properly, or the food or anything that is there in a system is not being managed properly, it can lead to accumulation of toxin. How many of you here felt as you were doing the tox quiz that this is really, really, really true? Me in the chat box if you felt that this is really, really, really true. That because of the different actions that you have done, there is accumulation of toxin in your body. There is inflammation from brain to toe. Each and every part of your system has got the capability to develop inflammation. How many of you here have rheumatoid arthritis or any inflammatory joint problems? How many of you have that? Me in the chat box, if you have any inflammatory joint problems, joint inflammation or inflammation in any part of your body. This is because it starts with the accumulation of toxins, and it is a precursor to all chronic diseases. Each and every chronic disease starts from your gut. A few years ago, I was talking to a patient, and this was somewhere in 2020, if I'm not wrong. And while I was talking to him, he has rheumatoid arthritis. And when I asked him, what is your current condition? He told me that I cannot move any part of my body except my talking, which is happening, and few slight movements in my arms. None of my other body parts move. They don't move at all. They're completely fused. And so I knew at that point, I felt very sad because I knew at that point I cannot help him. I cannot help him because all his joints are fused. They are fused with one another. There is no movement whatsoever. There's no joint. It's all one single piece that he is. And as I was talking to him, I asked him, how did all this start? And he said that when he was about 9 to 10 years old, he had problems with his digestion. His food would not digest well. He will have slushy motion. He was not feeling enough hunger. He was not feeling energetic. And he went to the doctor and they said nothing is wrong. By the age of 14, he was 28 when I was talking to him. By the age of 14, he was diagnosed as RA, rheumatoid arthritis. Then by the age of 18, he was on immunosuppressants. And by the age of 25, he was completely bedridden. What did it start off with? Indigestion. Frequent indigestion. Everything, almost all chronic diseases, they start in your gut. Everything starts in your gut. So the primary motive is to get your gut reset. Now, let me go into a little bit of detail into the small intestine. Now, the small intestine contains these small, tiny villi. Would I be right if I say that these are very, very delicate? Yes, in the chat box. If these can be very, very delicate. Yes. These can be very delicate. Now, you know what? When we hear a story, you can do two things. One is to really feel for that person and be sympathetic. Second is be empathetic, learn from it, and then move forward. That's the best thing to do. Okay. Now, this is the small intestine, and these are very, very delicate. And when a toxin comes in touch with these very delicate structures, would I be right if I say that these can get damaged? When a toxin comes in touch with these very delicate structures, is there a fair chance that these can get damaged? Please turn on your cameras, please. Please do not go off camera. Camera is like when you're turning on your camera, you're making sure that you are committed to this process completely. Please do not go off camera. I'm here giving my 100%. So shall we all give our 100% to this? Yes, in the chat box. We are all going to give our 100% to this. Showing up. Super. Thank you. Now, this gets damaged because of the toxins. And this leads to a condition which is dominated by inflammation. It's dominated by inflammation and leads to this condition which is called the, type it out in the chat box, LG in the chat box if you have understood that this leads to inflammation, which is leading to leaky gut. And if you have a leaky gut, this is what can happen. And the whole idea of doing this process is to move from this inflamed state to this state. Okay. How many of you here would like to know whether you have a leaky gut or not? That's the $1 million question, isn't it? You'd like to know whether you have leaky gut or not. Very good. Good. I would like to see a lot more of yes here. There are 247 people here other than me. Go ahead, let me know in the chat box. Yes, a lot more yeses. Wake up, lot more yeses. Wow, that is good. Good to see that. Now, let me know in the chat box if your talk score is between 0 and 40. If your talk score is between 0 and 40, type it out here in the chat box what your score is. 38, 22, 29. Yeah, hold on, okay, just change the setting to everybody, not just me. Change the chat setting to everybody, please. What is your talk score? Is it between 0 and 40? Type it here in the chat box. If it is between 0 and 40, type it here in the chat box. Thank you very much. Now, if your talk score only between 0 and 40, my friends, if your talk score is between 0 and 40, it means that you're relatively safe. I'm not saying that you're completely safe. You're relatively safe, which means there's a very low chance that you have leaky gut. You might have certain symptoms, but it's just something superficial. It doesn't have any deep meaning to it. There's a fair chance you are relatively safe. Now, if your talk score is between 40 and 80, type it out here in the chat box. Talk score between 40 and 80. If your talk score is between 40 and 80, there is a very good chance that your gut is leaking right now. And how many of you are able to feel it? Type feel in the chat box. If you're able to feel that there is leaky gut, that you have a fair feeling that it is leaking. I can see a lot many messages here. Thank you for letting me know. This is you saying to yourself that there is something wrong and I need to take care of it, which is really good. Okay. If your talk score is between 80 and 100, type it out in the chat box. If it is between 80 and 100, type it out in the chat box. 85, 99, 89, 93, 100. If your talk score is between 80 and 100, it is for sure that it is leaking right now. As we speak, it is leaking. And the last thing that I would like to ask you, if your talk score is above 100, type your talk score here in the chat box. You can see a lot many more. How many of you are able to see people typing who have their talk score above 100 right now? When I was studying in college, these type of scorings were not there. When we came out and we started working with the talk score, we used to see about 5 to 7% of the people that come to us have a high talk score above 100. After COVID, the number has just doubled. It has just doubled, which means the inflammations are going up in our system. And not just talking about COVID as a disease, but majorly after the vaccination. This is a fact. And I don't mind saying this out loud, especially after the vaccination. This has happened. Vaccines take 20 years to develop. We developed the vaccine in under 1 year, which is a major flaw in itself. I had no other choice at that time but to take it because I was a health professional working in a hospital. So that's how it is. I can see a few questions. I'll not be elaborating it right now. It will happen in the course of the process, during the session here today. Okay. Now, this is what a leaky gut means. Now, you know what? How many of you here are starting to feel a little bit scared now? How many of you are starting to feel a little bit scared? You see, you're feeling a little bit scared. If you're feeling a little bit scared, just look at this. How many of you are right now seeing hope? Type hope in the chat box if you're seeing hope. Type hope in the chat box if you're seeing hope. Because if you're seeing hope here on this, on this image right now, it means that you can come out of it. Okay. There's a very, very high probability that you can come out of it, which is really good. Okay. Super. How many of you are happy? Give me a smile if you are. Okay, good. Good to see that. I think if I can smile after waking up at 4:30, running through the entire day and being here at what, 8 o'clock in the evening, all of you can too. Give me a broader smile, guys. Thank you very much. All right. All right. Thank you. Good to see that. Okay. So this is what happens in the leaky gut. Okay. Now let's go into the science of it. Let's go into the science of it. What happens when there is leaky gut? Now, this is a small piece of the small intestine under the microscope. When you put a small piece of the small intestine under the microscope, and this is the inside of the small intestine, there are undigested food particles, toxins, and bacteria. If there is no leak, you can see that there is a leak here. Can you see a leak? Raise your hands if you can see a leak here. You can see a leak here, but there is no leak here. No leak. If there is no leak, nothing will go inside. But if there is leak, all these undigested food particles, toxins, and bacteria can go directly into your blood. Now, once it goes directly into your blood, what do you think will happen? Once it goes directly into your blood, what do you think will happen? Which system would get activated? Which system would get activated? The immune system. Exactly. The immune system would get activated and it will start attacking these bacteria, toxins, and everything that comes in, correct? It will start attacking. Now, let us assume that this is constantly happening. For any of you who have your tox scores above 40, which means that there is a leak in your gut and this is constantly happening. Would I be right if I say that? This is constantly happening. And since this is constantly going on, this entire thing, it is leaking, toxins coming in, it is leaking, your digestion is slow, it is leaking, again going in. And since this is constantly happening, the immune system has got a fair chance of getting tired after a while. Is there a fair chance of the immune system getting tired after a while? Or it is designed to last for a lifetime without any problem? Is it like that? No, it's not. Don't know is a very good place to start, Lavanya. So let me tell you, it can get tired. And if it gets tired, would I be right if I say that there is a fair chance that it might lose its intelligence and start attacking normal body tissues as well? it will lose its intelligence and will start attacking normal body tissues as well. This is the beginning of something which is called an autoimmune disease. And when we were studying in college back in 2009, there used to be about 80 or 90 autoimmune diseases. Can doctors here please verify this? There used to be about 80 or 90 autoimmune disease that we used to learn. Now it is about 170. The numbers have increased. They're just giving new numbers, but the reason is the same. It all starts in the gut. Now, why do I know this so well? Is because I lost my sister to an autoimmune disease. And it happened during COVID. We had no idea that she had a disease which is called systemic lupus, SLE. And we did everything to help her out, but we got only a 5-day window, which was too less. And one by one, all her organs shut down. And at last, there was a bleed in her brain and she couldn't survive. So what lesson she gave us was that every batch that we do is actually a tribute to her, because we seriously don't want to see anybody go through such an ordeal, because autoimmune diseases are man-made. How many of you are able to see that? That autoimmune diseases are man-made. If we are able to be a little bit more careful with our daily routine and set habits. If your tox scores are high, let me put it very openly to you today. I don't want to sugarcoat it. I'm a doctor and I've seen a lot of things in my life, not only outside, but in my family as well. For how many of you here, the bringing down the tox score has become top priority right now? How many of you bringing down your tox score has become top priority, and you're already seeing hope right now? In the Zoom chat, the photo that I showed you, there's already hope that it is possible by following a step by step process. It is possible. Now, this is what is happening. And this autoimmunity can lead to anything from as complex as a Hashimoto's thyroiditis, the thyroid problems. It can lead to joint disorders. Autism is not an autoimmune disorder, but it starts in the gut. Depression, all these start in the gut. And now, let me try and connect with what is happening to you and the way you feel. Because this is happening because we have a nervous system in our gut. It is called the gut brain. Type GB in the chat box if you have heard that there is a brain in our gut. GB in the chat box if you have heard that there is a brain in our gut. And nobody knows this better than Ayurveda, because they have been saying this for long time. Only now the scientific community has got their heads around that we have a brain in our gut. Now, it is present in each and every inch of your digestive system. It is present in each and every inch of your digestive system. We have a second brain. But tell me one thing, it is constant touch with the main brain. Okay, it is in constant touch with the main brain. How many of you here have felt that when you love somebody, the feeling actually starts from your stomach and not your brain? I know this very well because I've fallen in love multiple times. Okay, so it is that feeling that starts in your gut, which your main brain picks up later. But it definitely starts as butterflies in your stomach. How many of you have been stressed and felt that your digestion is not proper? How many of you felt stressed and felt that your digestion is not proper? Either more or less, both can happen. Good. The reason is the gut brain, the brain in your gut is in constant touch with your main brain. It is in constant touch with your main brain. Now, if the main brain has to feel good, if you agree, let me know, okay? If the main brain has to feel good, the gut brain has to feel good. Agree or disagree? Main brain has to feel good, the gut brain has to feel good as well. Now, the gut brain will feel good depending on what impulses reach the gut brain. Correct? Now, there is one part of our entire digestive system which is in constant touch with the gut brain. Would you like to know who that is? Remember, I told you that there are bacteria in your gut. These bacteria are in constant touch with the gut brain. Now, would I be right if I say that if the bacteria are feeling good, our gut brain would feel good so that our main brain can feel good? Now, if your bacteria are unhappy, what will happen? Bacteria are not happy, what will happen? That is why recently there is so much going around this prebiotic, probiotic, blah, 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 which I've been doing for a very long time. Are you able to see that? When the gut bacteria are happy, that is when your main brain is also going to be happy. And do you know when your gut bacteria are happy? When it gets the right food according to what the bacteria need. And what the bacteria need will actually depend on your body type, because each prakriti has a different unique set of bacteria that are present. And because of the fact that you have a unique set of bacteria, only if you're able to respect your prakriti, you can be healthy. How many of you agree to this? Only and only if you're able to respect your prakriti, you can be healthy. Because that only then you'll get the right signals. Only then you'll be able to maintain a healthy set of bacteria. And you can understand what your body type is by a tool that we're going to give you today. Okay, we're going to do that tonight. Good. How many of you want that? How many of you want the tool to understand your body type? Brilliant. And tomorrow, during the live session, I'm going to give you a shopping list based on your body type. How many of you want that? Who doesn't want that? I can see a lot of faces lighting up right now. Okay, good. Thank you for that. Okay, very good. I would like to see a few expressions now. Dil khol ke batao ki kya feel ho raha hai. You can just put an expression on your face and let me know how does this feel. And promise me that you're not going to open Swiggy or Zomato on your phone right now. But I can still see people are like, what? Gulab jamun dikha ke bhi. So, chalo, let me turn on the heat now then. What about this? Okay, one last try. What about this? Good quality Swiss chocolates, huh? Not cheap dairy milk. What is that? Did you just, what did you feel right now? What is that feeling called? I'm looking for the feeling. What is that feeling called? It is called craving. And craving is something which is called neuroadaptation. Okay, craving is a form of neuroadaptation because your brain has an amazing ability to adapt to anything that you give it. You give it the good stuff, it'll adapt. You give it the bad stuff, it'll adapt. And this one property of the brain is being abused by an industry which is called the food industry. Do you remember the tagline for Lay's? Anybody remember the tagline for Lay's chips? Write it down in the chat box. What is the tagline for Lay's? दिल मांगे मोर वो पेप्सी वाला है. Yes. No one can eat just one. What about Alpenlibe? Remember? जी लाल चाय रहा न जाए. Right? This is what Alpenlibe says. And now imagine a child with this information, loaded with this information, going into a shop and actually seeing Lay's and Alpenlibe there. Unresistible. And the moment, that is all what the industry wants you to do. They just want you to try it. And once you've tried, you have tried it, you have hooked for life. And once you're hooked, it is an unconscious, automatic process where you'll go and keep spending. It is just Alpenlibe, Lay's, whatever that is, it is just a legalized form of drugs and nothing else. They're selling drugs which are legal. I think it is better to legalize bhang. Better than that. These will keep you hooked for a lifetime. And it is very, very heart-wrenching to see that there is a huge market, there's a huge industry that is just making sure that you are getting hooked for a lifetime. And when your children do this, and when the next generation does this, are you seeing that we are guided in a way out of which we'll never be able to come out of if we don't take action right now? Me in the chat box, if you feel that. And how many of you do not want your children to come into that? How many of you want to take responsibility here for your next generation? How many of you want to see that the talk scores that you see today are real? And there's a very high chance that the talk scores that you would see in your children or the generation after that is something which is going to be much more substantial than this. When we become the role models, only then will we be able to bring them out of it. And there are two things that people look for. One is information, and the second is transformation. Which one do you want, my friends? Information or transformation? And transformation happens. Information will stay with you, it will go. Transformation happens when you put things into practice. On this note, let me ask you, how many of you have already taken action and started with the 4 elements that we taught you yesterday? Or at least taken an action, at least taken a first step in that direction? How many of you have? Great. I can see a lot many me's here. That's brilliant. Okay. Good work. Thank you very much. The only way to come out of this, there's a huge agenda behind this. And the only way to come out of this huge mess that is there, I'll tell you what it is, but write this down first. Open page number 28 and write this down. Open page number 28 and write this down. Type done in the chat box once you're done. Done in the chat box once you're done. Type done. I want to see a few dones here before I can go forward. The only way to come out of this programming that you're going through, the only way to come out of this programming that you're going through is through something which is called readaptation, where you readapt yourself. Okay. If you want to readapt, then start working with your gut. And the first step to do that, is to start Triphala, the detox tea, and all the things that we taught you yesterday. That is how you can Now, tell me one thing. If it was just the information that I gave you yesterday, okay, would the thought process be complete for you? Or was that loop closed today for you? How many of you felt that there is a very strong need that you want to do it now? There's a very, very strong need that you want to do it. The reason is very clear. Thank you so much for letting me know. Thank you very much. Good. Loop closed. Super. Good. Now, how are toxins lost from your body? The liver does something very, very interesting. Okay. When the liver gets a toxin, liver doesn't want to send it into your system. Liver doesn't want to send it. So what the liver does is, the liver takes the toxin, covers it in fat, and stores it in different parts of your body. You might have heard a lot of people having fatty liver, blah, blah, blah. Have you heard? Yes. The liver is actually depositing it in different parts of your body, including your buttocks, your lower abdomen, your thighs, your chest, and also around the liver, heart, kidneys, so and so. Now, since the toxin is stored in fat in different parts of your body, what needs to break down first before you can release your toxins? What needs to break down? The fat needs to break down, correct? Now, let me ask you this. How are toxins lost from your body? I'm looking for the route through which the toxins are lost, okay? The route through which the toxins are lost. The route. Skin, okay? What else? Skin. Poop, urine. Now let us understand this in a little bit of detail. The fat molecule is made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Okay. The fat molecule is made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Only three things. It's got carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Only three things. When it breaks down during metabolism, when metabolism happens and it breaks down into carbon dioxide and water. It breaks down into carbon dioxide and water. Only two things, carbon dioxide and water. Now, the interesting point here is how much carbon dioxide and how much water. When 10 kilograms of fat breaks down, it breaks down into 8.4 kilograms of carbon dioxide and 1.6 kilograms of water, which means when 10 kilogram of fat breaks down, it breaks down into 84% of carbon dioxide, which is the process through which carbon dioxide goes out of your body. Which is the process through which carbon dioxide goes out of your body? In the form of breath, in the form of breathing. How many of you are able to see that we lose our fat through breathing? Isn't this amazing? You know why? Because this is the composition of fat molecule, average human adipocyte. Somebody wanted the composition of fat. This is the Kapalabhati, the pranayama, the breathing practices, all that our ancient people taught us. This is the reason why we have all of that in our life. How many of you are going to put a lot of focus on your breathing from today onwards? Me in the chat box, if that is you, you're going to put a lot of focus on your breathing. You breathe your toxins out. All of you breathe your toxins out. And when you do all these processes that I taught you right now, what happens is, since you are making yourself the priority, your health, your priority, you become more focused in the present moment, you become more happy, you become more mindful, and you develop a positive environment around you, which leads to something which is called the self-image. When your self-image becomes bigger, when each and every part of your self-image becomes bigger, you become more positive and you'll have more abundance in your life. How many of you are able to see that already? How many of you are able to see that? That your self-image, whenever you focus on yourself, whenever you commit to doing something that will really improve your health and everything along with it, it'll make you even more powerful. How many of you are able to see that? Brilliant. Great. Thank you very much. The digestive fire is very important, and each of the other element will support your digestive fire if you are able to keep them healthy. How many of you are able to see that this is true? Your digestive fire, the centerpiece, will improve when all the other elements, including the fluids, including the breathing, including the environment that you create, including the food that you eat, all of them together create your fire. It's not just fire alone. It's all of them together. But there is a problem, is that knowledge is nothing without action. You can have all the knowledge in the world. If you're not able to take action, none of this is going to work. So type action in the chat box if you commit to taking action. Action in the chat box if you commit to taking action. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Super. That's commitment, guys. Now open page number 29. Open page number 29. And if you have understood that habits are extremely important, write habits there. If you have understood that habits are extremely important, write habits there. Also, let me ask you one thing. Since you have understood that habits are very important and your talk score needs to come down, and also that Prakriti is also very important. And when you have food according to your body type, your bacteria are happy. And when you devise all your life around Prakriti, it can improve. How many of you here would like to be a part of a challenge that is completely based on Prakriti? Raise your hands if you'd like to be part of a challenge, or type me in the chat box if you'd like to be part of a challenge which will teach you through games, through activities, how you can design your life according to your body type, and in the process, bring your talk score down as well. Somebody just mentioned that I'm in if it is free. Okay. For all of you here who want that for free, you have YouTube in abundance. Okay. Because anything that comes free in life comes with a big price tag along with it. Not now, but later. Okay. So thank you very much for that. Now, I'll let you know about the challenge. We will open a few spots tomorrow. And if you're in, join in tomorrow. I'll be opening a few spots tomorrow. And that is only going to happen during the live session tomorrow. And this will help you. Whatever talk score drop you saw was when the second week was happening, within 14 days, not even 21 days. It's going to happen in 14 days. So now I'll open that tomorrow. But in the meantime, today, type habits in the chat box if you've understood that habits are very important. Type habit in the chat box if you've understood that habits are very important. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, which one would you choose? Gut habits or your current life? Which one would you choose? Gut habits or your current life? Brilliant. And what do you think is a minimum time that you would take on the lifeboat? What is a minimum time that you would take on the lifeboat? The gut habits are your lifeboat. Assuming that your gut habits are your lifeboat, what is the minimum time that you will take on your lifeboat? Some of you said 21 days. That's exactly what it is. According to a book which is called, where is that? The Psycho-Cybernetics. I had this here. According to the book which is called Psycho-Cybernetics, it says that it takes a minimum of 21 days to become comfortable on any habit. To become comfortable on any habit. So it will take approximately 21 days to set that right. Now, in the WhatsApp group today, you will get a tool which is for Prakriti. Okay, to determine your Prakriti. You're going to get a tool to determine your Prakriti. And what you do is, while you're doing the test, go with your best guess. Go with your best what? Guess. Go with your gut guess. Okay, go with your gut guess and just finish it, get an output and come down tomorrow for the session. Is that clear to everyone here? Do the test, get the outcome, get the output and come down for the session tomorrow. Do nothing else. Go with your best guess. Okay, go with your gut feeling. Exactly. Go with your gut feeling. Super. Now, everybody ready for the Life Points breathwork? Want to become the most peaceful version of you in under 2 minutes? All right. Thank you very much. Now, the Life Points breathwork involves you becoming aware of 2 points in your breath. How many points? Show me on the camera. 2 points. Let us say that this is your inhalation and this is your exhalation. Okay? Going up is your inhalation. Going down is your exhalation. At the beginning of your inhalation, which means you've just finished an exhalation and you're about to inhale. Turn on your cameras, everybody, please. Right? You've just finished exhalation and about to start inhaling. There is a gap in your breath. Would I be right if I say that? There's a gap where you're neither inhaling nor exhaling. There's a gap. There's a pause. There's a stop. And the second one is when you breathe in and you're just about to exhale. At that point, there is a gap. Again, the second gap in your breath. Raise your hands if you're clear on that. The first is in between exhalation and inhalation, and the second is between inhalation and exhalation. You just finished exhalation, you're about to inhale, there is a gap, and you've taken inhalation, and then you're about to exhale, there is a gap. In between inhalations and exhalations, there is a gap. And the first gap, the first pause, happened at one point in your life. Do you remember when? When did the first pause happen? At birth, exactly, at your birth. And when do you expect the second pause to happen? I wouldn't call that death, but then it's a transcendence. It's the death of the physical body. We are the soul. We just have different roles to play, right? Now, that is when you transcend from one form to the other. You're just changing forms. Now, when you focus or when you become aware of these 2 points in your breath, you'll get more insights into life. Because just between these 2 breaths is our life. And you're symbolizing life in between these 2 points, especially when you're doing this meditation. Ready? Ready for it? Ready for insights? And if you find any insights during the session, feel free to share it here in the chat box after that. Right? We're going to do it for 2 minutes. For the first minute or so, I will just guide you through the process. I'll give you instructions, after which I'll stop, and then you can continue for a minute or so, and then I'll bring you back. Raise your hands if you're clear on that. Thank you very much. Good. Sit into a comfortable position. All of you, please turn on your webcams. Please do not go off cam right now. Your back straight, your spine straight, chin parallel to the floor. Your shoulders are relaxed. Eyes are comfortably closed. Concentrate on your breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Om. Slowly, very slowly, open your eyes and let me know in the chat box, what did you feel? Relaxed, calm, peace, refreshed, peaceful, calm, superb, relaxed, lighter, nothing. Pauses were longer. With every breath, felt good, was trying to take more air. Okay, good, superb. Somebody said, I wish to do more of this. Please do. Who's stopping you? Go ahead, do it. It's really right, right? Good. Continue. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. So what I'm going to do, not think of anything but present. Brilliant. Somebody asked me, can we do it at any time? We can do it at any point. More ease in the body. Brilliant. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer questions that have come up on the form. God bless you too, Sangeeta. Okay. I had spine surgery 5 years ago, but I have nerve pain and fatigue, low energy. Nikita, if you had a spine surgery, the thing with spine surgery is that it has two kind of after effects. One, the thing with surgeries, especially with surgery involving nerves, spinal cord, the thing is that they don't completely heal. And even if they heal physically, the underlying unconscious effects of it still continue for many people, which is something that we have seen over and over and over with our clients that we have worked with. We might feel that, I'm in a surgery, currently I've done the surgery, now everything is going to be fine. It usually is not the case. So it will happen, but there are very good chances that after a few years, if you're able to work on your mind more than anything else, these will resolve with time. Low energy is an after effect of all these only, Nikita. Felt little heavy after taking detox. Something went wrong maybe in preparing. Don't boil it a lot, Chetan. If you boil the detox tea a lot, don't do it. Any problem by taking Triphala with homeo medicine? Absolutely no problem. While having detox tea, should we be fasting? Not necessarily. There's no relationship with food. You can take it anytime. Not getting day one food and day. Sorry. Abhay, not getting day one food and day two. I didn't understand that. Akanksha, I have milk while sleeping or before sleeping. How should I manage Triphala in my routine? So the point is, milk is not something that I would advise you to take at bedtime. Milk is something that should have been taken earlier, taken in the evening, the best way to take it. Because by the time you go to bed, let's say that let me assume that you go to bed by around, say 10 o'clock. From 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock, the digestive clock actually slows down. Between 6 and 10, the digestive clock slows down. And after that, the digestive clock becomes more efficient, not to digest, but to detox. At night, when you're sleeping, the digestive system is engaged actively in detox. So do not take milk before sleep. Should body scrub be followed by a regular? That's your choice, but if you can just do a body scrub, that will be really good. If you can do it with vetiver because it's got a nice aromatic smell, or you can do it also with the body scrub powder, which is really good. And again, as I mentioned, we have put up the e-commerce or the website so that you can get stuff from a genuine place, but it is totally your choice where you want to get your, the scrub, the Triphala and all that. It's your choice completely. I have a problem with diabetes, asthma, hypertension. I can see that Zankhana, I would like to go back to day one, where we said that our focus is going to be our health. If we continue focusing on diseases, that's what the industry wants you to do. They've got you into thinking that if you solve your health problems, if you solve your diseases, you'll be healthy. Never. Health is not just the absence of disease. So let's focus on the techniques that I've taught you here. Just focus on these 5 elements. Just the 5 elements that I taught you yesterday, which we revised today, except the diet one, which we'll be discussing tomorrow. Chana atta can be used to scrub. I have dried foot sole cracks. The cream will help tremendously. Mahesh says, does Triphala intake can heal palmar hyperhidrosis? Palmar hyperhidrosis. So the excessive sweating, I get it. Mahesh, Triphala alone might not, but there are a few other things also that you can do. There are a few medicines that you can use which will bring this down. I will not be able to share the names of the medicines here because it's an open forum. If we use this, okay, I'm lean day by day. My digestion is poor. Can you tell me the procedure how to overcome? Srihari, it is not a one-shot solution to it. It's not just one, you take one pill or one something and it'll get all right. What I would ask you to do is be very consistent with that. Be very consistent with whatever you do, and you'll see that your weight would improve. We had a client, his name is Gajanan, was it? Parmeshwar Ghule. Okay, Parmeshwar Ghule, Parmeshwar had this problem that he was not gaining weight. During our challenge, the 21-day challenge that we did, that I'll let you know about tomorrow, what happened is his weight improved, which was one of his outcomes that he wanted. So it does happen, yes. If you use scrub Triphala powder, if you use scrub Triphala powder before bath, means there is no need to use soap then. Yes, you can do that as well, no problem. Have psoriasis, how to get it cured? Nurmeet, you got psoriasis, which means that your skin is not keeping well. It's not keeping well because your focus is on the disease. Focus on your health. Focus on the steps that we taught you. You will see that there's a major change in the way you feel in another 1 month time. Don't look for shortcuts, please. Can I take Triphala along with homeopathic medicine? I think I answered that yes. Will this help me reduce severe pain in the neck and headache due to osteoporosis? Jayant, yes. Body scrub on wet body or dry body, depending on what you're comfortable with, Raghunathan. If you're comfortable with wet, do wet. If you're comfortable with dry, do that. Okay, Lavanya asked me, you told you that dinner is at 5 p.m. The point is, how do I keep myself off food even after that? It's practice. I'll tell you more about this tomorrow. I'll tell you more about when you can fast and do all those things. So develop yourself as as this person who can withstand a little bit more and try different things with yourself. Very important. I have a huge, I won't say huge, a big question here, which I might not be able to pick up because I'm not able to pick up that question right now because it's a big question. So it's not big, it's a monstrous question. I missed noting additions to detox tea. It's what is that? Fenugreek, if you have a lot of bloating. Ginger, fresh ginger if you have a low digestifier. Komal, I hope you were able to understand that today. So leaky gut is nothing but there is wounds in your gut because of which the food is not reaching the blood. The nutrients are not reaching the blood, but the food is directly reaching your blood, causing havoc. Can we replace Triphala with Isabgol? No. Triphala is Triphala, Isabgol is Isabgol. Will gut reset help me relieve the neck pain due to osteoporosis? It will help improve. It will help improve. All right. Okay. So once again, thank you so much for your time. Have a very good night's sleep. And I'll see you tomorrow during the session. Love you all. Take care. Do drop your questions on that form and I'll be very happy to answer it. Have a very good night. Take care. Somebody asked me, Kasturi Rangan, does Triphala have any side effects, residual effects on body over a long time? Yes, it has got a lot of side residual effects, which means you will have good digestion. Your tox score would come down. You'll be able to feel much more healthier. Your energy levels would go up. If these are like really good residual effects, please use Triphala. All right. So thank you very much. Have a very good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.